Well, welcome back to day number 2. I'm Jeff Kraft here at the news desk. You guys have been watching me earlier this morning. Then we took a break from Facebook and YouTube, and we were only on partners.teradata.com/virtual. And again, you guys can follow us along when we're not live on these channels. But for the next hour and I guess 45 minutes, maybe a couple of hours, you'll be looking at this guy, this ugly mug, right here inside the Anaheim Convention Center. We've got a lot of interviews coming up, including FedEx, T-Mobile, Meyer, PayPal. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Grab some popcorn, put your slippers on, put your feet up on the coffee table, and keep your browser open. We're going to have fun. Hey, if you have any questions about anybody that I'm chatting with, just go ahead and hashtag TDPartners17. Throw it over there in the chat box, and we'll be answering some of those questions live right here. So make sure you guys join the conversation. That has already begun. I was chatting with this guy off camera here a second ago. I'm excited. He's back on the news desk from last year. We chatted about all kinds of things, but what we're going to talk about, I think, for maybe the majority of this interview is sports. Big sports guy, John Myers. First off, he's a managing research director, BI, Enterprise Management Associates. And we're going to be chatting about Internet of Things analytics, business value of IoT analytics, data lakes using AI, ML. But we're going to talk first about a Rose Bowl championship ring that you had back in the day. There's nobody that has a Rose Bowl championship ring that's walking around here at Partners.
Well, it's possible that someone has a Rose Bowl championship ring here at Partners. But I was a part of the University of Michigan program in the late 80s, early 90s, and we got a chance to play at the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row and played USC both times, and we won in January of 1989. So I was a little bitty part of that particular program, and it was honored to be able to know people like Bo Schembechler, Elvis Gerbach.
Yeah.
Just missed Jim Harbaugh during that process. But great to know guys like Matt Elliott and other people. So,
well, I apologize for coming off a tough loss on Saturday with your team. We won't talk about it, though. We won't talk about it. But from there, from college football, you got into to baseball in '94. You're the youngest GM ever.
Well, no, I would say at that particular point in time, I was the youngest general manager in professional sports. But you got to get paid in order to do that. So it's entirely possible I was the youngest general manager in amateur sports because we really didn't get paid. So, but
that's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, since we're talking sports, tonight's a big night. You got LA Dodgers. You've got the Houston Astros playing at Dodger Stadium right down there, not too far here from Anaheim. Prediction? What do you think it's gonna be taking game one? I think the Dodgers personally.
I think it's going to be the people that can manage the 100-degree temperature and the 10% humidity, very much like a game at Coors Field in August. So I'm guessing it'll be 10 to 12.
Yeah, man, it's breaking records yesterday and today here in Southern California. And one last thing in sports, Olympics. Part of the Olympics in '96. I mean, come on, from football to baseball to the Olympics, you've done everything. So it's hard not to be successful in data and analytics now, I think, right? With all that background.
A lot of that allows you to look at statistics, look at information and things of that nature. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that, and I think it'll be a great time when we have the Olympics back here in Los Angeles.
Well, I'm sure some people at home are like, no, I wish they would just talk sports all day, but we can't. We're getting paid to do something else here. A little background on you. Managing Research Director with EMA. You deliver comprehensive coverage of the BI and data warehouse industry with a focus on database management, data integration, data visualization, and process management solutions. Years of experience working in areas related to business analytics and professional services consulting and product development roles. Internet of Things has been a big topic last year, of course. Data changes everything in Atlanta. This year, we're working on, I feel like it's more focused, I've said this multiple times, focused more towards the customer this year with AI and ML at the forefront. Where do organizations start the process of IoT analytiks?
Well, one of the things that they're going to do is you're talking about customer.
Yeah.
You're looking at those particular things. And what we're seeing is as people are using those sensors, if we either see them in a B2C environment, we see them in a B2B environment where we're looking at connected fleet, they're trying to look at how those sensor readings can help top line revenue, bottom line costs. If we look at something like a supply chain organization, they're going to want to be able to see how are their trucks running. Can they be more fuel efficient? Can they be more efficient in their routes? How can we take that information and get it directly to top line revenue, help lower our bottom line costs, and overall for an organization improve margins. But I think that's one of the things that organizations need to do is look at, it's not just the sensor data, it's how can we take that sensor data and apply it to our business models.
You know, Merck had a big announcement in January, I believe, where they are. It was a big topic because they're one of the biggest companies in the world in pharma medical. But they were the same thing. They were putting sensors on everything and automating the entire supply chain process. And it's a big deal. That's a big deal for a company to make that statement. It's a pretty bold statement, but saying this is what we're going to do.
Well, I think it's one of those things that when you take that initiative and you work down that particular path, you're deciding, hey, we want to be data-driven and disruptive in the things that we're doing, and we want to be able to get ahead of our competition. It's not just sensors for sensors' sake, or it's going to be how do we take that information, lower our fleet costs, and increase our revenues.
I like that disruption. I'm a huge fan of that word. Joey Ito, during the general session, got a chance to chat with him on the news desk, and that's what he's all about, is disruption, mixing it up. What's a good logical goal for an organization, and how does traditional data fit?
Well, when you look at how you take traditional data and the sensor data and bring it all together, it's the context of what you're trying to do. We talked about customer, we talked about that particular value. If I don't understand how this applies to my customers or to my business, I run into issues where I can't make that particular leap. But taking that context, merging it with these new data sources really helps us to understand what's going on, whether it's in flight from sensors or if it's sitting in a data lake. We need to be able to bring that contextual information together so that we know it's not just customer 127, we know it's John Myers and what he's doing with our products and how we can look at him in the context of being a customer, being part of our business model.
Talking about data lakes, might as well go right into it. Data lakes, do they just live on Hadoop?
Well, I don't think so. There might be some people who would disagree with me, but I think that when we look at a data lake, it's going to need to be a combination of the multi-structured data that we might put in Hadoop with the streaming data that we're pulling off of those sensors, but now augment it with customer, product, regional information that we've been curating in our data warehouses for quite some time. So at that point, we're not just going to rip and replace something. We want to bring those together and make sure we have a good augmentation for that value.
What's included in the modern data lake?
What's included in the modern data lake, you're going to see a combination of both streaming data and historical information at rest, so both in flight and at rest at the same time. But you're going to need to augment that with information that comes from your customer care systems, from your EDW. You're going to bring all of those together at something that we at EMA call the hybrid data ecosystem, which is very similar to the Teradata UDA architecture, where you bring multiple systems together, and rather than trying to say there's one that's better than the other, you're saying how do we bring the best capabilities from processing, storage, and analysis and have them work together, as opposed to trying to say we're going to put everything in one bucket.
So moving on to AI and ML, the big topics this year. This is what everybody's talking about. It's been around, obviously, for AI and ML's been. People have talked about it for a long time, but now it's taken to a whole new level. But you say you need to use AI and ML for data lakes.
Well, I think you do. I think there's part of it. Teradata had a survey that they just released where they said 80% of organizations have some form of AI that is going. And I think that when we look at the amount of data that we have either streaming from IoT locations or sitting in our data lakes, we need to use machine learning and artificial intelligence to, one, make the most use out of it at the disruptive speed that we need. The other one is with this vast amount of data, we need to take that ML and artificial intelligence and point it within that data as well so that we can understand better what's going on. And when we talk about data lakes versus data swamps, if you don't have a good handle of what's going on in those platforms, it'll quickly become a swamp. as opposed to this pristine data lake. And the data's just gotten too big for us to kind of manage by hand, and we need to use ML and AI to help us do that.
Strategic data governance. What is the strategic data governance?
Well, there's a lot of organizations that talk about, we're going to do data governance from a tactical position in the world and say, we're going to do some data quality here, we're going to do some data governance there. But I think with the rise of the chief data officer and the strategic importance of data, we need to pull up what we're doing with our best practices as well to say, let's get these things at an executive level and understand them, how we're going to use them across the organization, as opposed to at a very tactical level and say, we're going to look at data quality for customer. No, we need to look at data quality across our entire organization, inventory, supply chain, et cetera. So if I'm going to be, say, doing an omni-channel delivery, so link my in-store inventory with my website and say, hey, if you want to buy this today, you can go pick it up. Now, if we offer that, we darn well better be able to say that there is something at that particular store. If someone shows up to pick it up and it's not there, you're going to have a bad customer experience. You're going to have a bad impression of that particular vendor.
A guy that can talk sports, talk AI and ML, officially have a man crush. There you go. John Myers, again, Managing Research Director of BI Enterprise Management Associates. John, good seeing you, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'll see you throughout the weekend. And Dodgers, your prediction? I don't think you.
I guess we'll have to go NL West, and we'll say the Dodgers in 7.
You kind of have. We're in LA. See you in a little bit. All right, we're going to continue this here on the news desk. Again, if you guys are out there, if you have a prediction for the World Series, let us know. Who do you think? And of course, where are you coming from? Where are you guys watching? Are you guys international? You guys here? Are you right down the street? Or are you in Philly? Are you in Paris? Are you in Rome? Are you in Canada? Let us know where you guys are watching from. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just go ahead and put it out there. Hashtag TDPartners17 and ask some questions, especially for some of the guests that I have up here. We want you guys to join the conversation. Coming up next, we have got a technical principal FedEx Services, simply Bill G. Bill, how you doing, Bill?
Doing good. How are you doing today?
This is how I want to come to work, and this is what I showed up with. Where I big sports fan, as well.
Oh yeah.
First, I'm going to brag about you for a second, and then we're going to get into sports, just because it's a hot topic right now, the sports. Bill G has been working with Teradata since '97, so congratulations on the 20-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Now you don't have to pay for your own hotel rooms. I think that's what happens. Okay,
yeah.
And has worked as a DBA developer, systems DBA, managing multiple Teradata systems, ranging in various sizes from hundreds of nodes down to single node systems. Currently is serving as the co-chair for PAC, Product Advisory Council for Teradata. We're going to talk a lot about PAC, but let's talk a lot about sports right now.
All right.
College football.
Yes.
Saturday, we were talking a second ago with John about University of Michigan, USC, Notre Dame. I mean, there were some big games and a lot of points.
Big games. So I'm a Hog fan, as you can see from my shirt. Not so good.
No.
It's again, love the Razorbacks, love being in the SEC. SEC is always such a huge powerhouse.
It is.
So it's very interesting to see what's going on there. I kind of wish Alabama would kind of back off a little bit, let somebody else have a chance.
A lot of colleges think the same. You get to go to many games?
I do. So I usually try to go to 1 or 2 games each year. I've got 2 kids now, a daughter and a son. They're just now getting. My son's into football big time, so we try to take him, so he can actually see the games. And so he's really enjoying that. So
my favorite part of college football, I mean anything, but tailgating. I think we should start tailgating here at Partners.
Hey, I'm all for that.
Yeah, bring the RV out.
Bring the RV out. Get some good barbecue going.
Oh man, that would be fantastic. We got to chat with John Hines about that and see if we can make that. I'm not sure where he is out here. All right, so let's talk about PAC. We got to talk about PAC.
Sure.
Overview of the topic for you out there. As a customer, many of us want to help drive the products we used to be better, so that we can in turn use products to drive better business usage decisions. And being a part of PAC allows that input. But what does the Product Advisory Council do?
So the Product Advisory Council is basically a group of customers that come together and work with the Teradata Corporation. We bring in ideas about the product. We look at what they're doing with the product. We look at the different features they're bringing in. And as customers, we go, hey, you know what? We really enjoy this feature, or you know what? This feature is kind of lacking a little bit. We really want to see how see you take and put more investment in this feature. We also look and say, you know what? Here's things that we really want to see in your product. And then as customers, because we come in and go, hey, we're using your product, to drive our business needs. How can we take your product and use that to make better decisions within our company? So as the Product Advisory Council, we come in, we counsel and give advice to Teradata about the products, what direction we think they should go. If they've got a product, it's like, hey, this product's been released, it's not really doing what we think it should do. How do we make it better? And so it's really more of this just feedback loop. So a lot of companies really always want to hear the customers provide feedback so they can turn around and make their products better. FedEx, you were constantly looking at, okay, did we deliver the package on time? Did we get it where it's supposed to go in a reasonable amount of time? Give us that feedback. This is an opportunity for the customers to give Teradata feedback on their product, on what the direction should be, what should they be doing with it, what customers are looking for as far as how the product should work.
It's fair to say that FedEx, part of one of the oldest supply chain models in modern era.
It's pretty close, yes.
I think it really is. I feel like.
Yeah, so it's definitely it's been around since early '70s.
Yeah.
Delivering packages. Kind of getting, hey, we get the stuff there. It's like kind of filled a niche market back in that day. It's like, how do we get stuff there sooner?
Yeah.
And we're still working on that. How do we get packages where they need to go as quickly as possible? So
now the autonomous cars, working that in with the trucks, and of course, that's a big topic as well. I was chatting with somebody here at the news desk a little while ago talking about autonomous cars, but trucks is a big part of that industry.
It is. We have huge fleets of trucks. We are looking, those are things that FedEx is considering. It's looking how do we do some of this stuff? What's all going on?
Yeah.
How does that affect us as a corporation? It still is things that have to be looked at. So
no, it's all about in this day and age better productivity, efficiency, reliability. That's what
Exactly.
it comes down to. And there's a lot of tools there to help you out with that. Benefit you've seen to your company as a result of being part of the Product Advisory Council, and what's it like? What's it like to being a part of PAC? Is it stressful? Is it fun? What's it like?
All of the above.
Yeah.
So there are days it's stressful. There's days more often than not it's fun. So a couple benefits to being on the PAC. One of the things I've seen over the years as a customer of Teradata is we go, hey, you know what, really want to see this feature, or I wish Teradata could do this. Being a part of the PAC, I've been able to see some of those features that were like, hey, I really want to see this. I've actually seen that come to fruition at FedEx because of my membership with the PAC. We've gotten features in. We've been able to work with the engineers to say, this is what we want to see. And we work with those engineers, and they're like, oh, that's a great idea. So how can we implement that? And then seeing that come out in the new releases and going and being able to go, guys, I had a hand in this, getting this in for our company to make our company more efficient, more beneficial. Be able to reach our customers, let our customers be able to do more. As far as being a member of the PAC, it's a lot of fun. We do, we meet face to face twice a year. The customers come together. We have a week-long meeting, which is kind of stressful because you're having to do your day job as well as meet with these guys. But it's one of those things. You get together, you make new friends, you make new contacts. You get to see, hey, here's how we've accomplished this, or here we're struggling with this. How did you do this? And it's a great knowledge share. It's a great way to network and to understand how hey, you know what? We're not the only people suffering from the same problem. And so that's been a huge deal there. And it's been a lot of fun. We it's not all work. We do get together and we go out and eat at night. We go out and just hang out and do stuff together.
Go to a game, a Razorbacks game?
Well, we would if we were in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I don't think the Razorbacks don't play in California. So
no, they don't. They don't. What are some of the personal takeaways? Anything like on a personal level that you've taken away from being a part of PAC?
So, as from a personal level, it's really, and I know that you hear a lot of people say this is kind of cheesy, but the relationships that I've made with not just the other customers that use Teradata, but also the engineers and the product managers at Teradata, being able to go, hey guys, I've got a problem, and I'm able to pick the phone up and actually call those guys and say, hey guys, I'm struggling with this. What can we do, or is there something? Can I reach? Do you have somebody I can talk to say, hey, here's what I'm struggling with. What do I need to do? Most often you're kind of having to go, open up a ticket and go, hey, wait for somebody to come back and get back to you. And we still do some of that, but at the same time, having that personal relationship with some of those engineers actually allows me to reach out to those guys and go, hey, I'm struggling here, or hey guys, I found this in your product. Is this what it's really supposed to do? It's just really helped out in that way. I've got some great friendships I've made over the years. We keep in touch with these guys, outside of work. I've actually gone, one of the guys took us sailing a few years ago, as just kind of a, hey, we're, a bunch of us are getting together and we're going to go sailing. I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. So
I want to be a part of this. How do I join this? How do customers become a part of PAC?
So it's actually pretty easy. If you go to the partners website, partners.teradata.com, at the bottom of it, there's actually a link that says, the product advisory councils. If you follow that link, you can actually go in there and, there's several different committees. The product advisory council is just one of those committees. Click on that link, it'll actually take you to a little application form. Fill that out, fill the questions out, submit it. The PAC members will actually take those applications, review them, and then reach out to those customers that are interested, have an interview, talk over with what their interests are. As well as if you're, and those of you that are actually at the conference, we actually have a table set up that you can stop by and actually talk to us to see a little bit more, information about what's going on, talk to some of the different members. So those are a few ways to get in touch and reach out. And you can go out to the Product Advisory Council website and you'll see a lot of the customers are there. You can actually reach out to any of us and just ask us questions about it.
Sounds great. It sounds like a fantastic support center, and just be fun to say, to hang out, talk some business, and then have a good time. Speaking of good time, yesterday, the VR that we have, the VR challenge. I heard you put the headset on. You're like, yeah, I'm done. You didn't walk the plank yesterday.
No. It's one of those things you put it on. It's like, okay, I can't really see what's going on.
You're in a totally different world.
It is. It really is. It's kind of like, okay, nothing's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
The VR stuff's a little weird still.
That's what we like here at the Buzz Lounge. We like to mix it up a little bit.
Definitely,
Like to mix it up a little bit. Well, you know what? I think a barbecue next year at Partners is needed.
I think so.
You have an RV?
I don't, but
let's get one. Let's get one and let's drive it out.
At least bring the barbecue.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Great chatting again, Bill G. Hanging out with us here on the news desk, technical principal, FedEx Services. I like guys like, a guy like that can come to work and dress casual and have a great conversation with. I'm all for it. Again, we want you guys to join the conversation out there as well. We'll talk about it. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. And a little bit later on, we are not going to be live on these channels, but we are still going to be live on the news desk, closing it out on partners.teradata.com/virtual. So just because you can't be here in person doesn't mean you can't be here virtually. But of course, we want you to be here next year. Finance Foundation Practice Director. We're going to keep rolling right into this. Teradata Think Big Analytics. Jay Humphreys. Jay.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? Nice to meet you as
Doing
well.
fantastic.
Nice to meet you as well. I'm going to brag about you for a sec. 25 years of experience managing finance strategy and roadmap creation, business transformation and process efficiency efforts, complex solution development, and analytic problem solving for Fortune 500 companies. Possess extensive experience in ERP implementations, human resources, technology, finance, manufacturing, energy, oil, and a lot more. You do a lot of stuff out there. We're going to be chatting about finance, and finance is interesting. It's different. It's not just about statements and reports. It's companies need more forward-thinking, predictive insights in real time. So it's changed quite a bit.
It really has. And it went from let's just crank out some monthly reports, some quarterly reports, but the business units in most organizations now are demanding, I need more data and I need it, operational data. And you're absolutely right. And it's in near real time. And so from what we used to do in Excel is now I need it, on my iPad, I need it on my phone.
On my watch.
On my watch.
Yeah.
And I need it today.
Yeah. some keys to successful finance transformation initiatives. What are they? What are some of the keys?
So, when you really look at a finance transformation, people think of it as a destination, and it's really a journey. If you look at what's going on in the environment today, there's just constant change. Everything is coming. Technology's changing, the world is changing, and we have to stay on top of it. So the key is really, for us, is an analytical roadmap that I can start to march towards. And as I look at it and start to understand where I am today, because again, if it's a journey, I need a map. Where am I today? And where am I going tomorrow? Where am I going next month? And so I can create a roadmap, that's analytical based to start to shape my future so that I can get all that detail for everybody that's asking for it within my organization.
So see some of the key analytic components or capabilities a company needs to make the transformation successful. Let's dive deep into that. What are some of those key components?
Well, again, without that roadmap, everybody's going to be kind of lost and running in different directions. But at least with the roadmap, they all have an agreed upon strategy to how to get from here, point A to point B. Again, then if you look at the business needs to be driving those requirements, and you have to have a tight collaboration with IT to support all of that, because IT is going to build it, and the business has got to use it and make decisions off of it. And so, as you really look at it, the framework starts out with building out the old-fashioned general ledger, and then starting to frame up the additional pieces around that. I need operational data into my analytical ecosystem. Eventually I'm going to want to try to put a robust allocation engine in there. And at the end of the day, then I need a set of BI and visualization tools on the back end to be able to look at all of that data, right?
What are some of the expectations of a CFO? I mean, is that going to be changing quite a bit? Because to me, the expectation of a CFO, they're going to be looking for, or the expected partnership, some actionable insights. But of course, with all of that, I mean, you're going to have a big opportunity, but there's going to be big challenges that come along with that.
Absolutely, and I think that the office of the CFO has really changed. It's gone from being the chief bean counter to now being, a chief strategist as well, because the CEO and the chief operating officer, as well as all of the business unit heads, are looking to him, to feed them the health of the system, or the enterprise, through the financials. And so their job is really changing, and as we said, it's all got to be near real time.
I mean, is that fair? Or is there going to be a chief AI? I mean, there's a lot of talk about having a chief AI officer in there as well, maybe to support the CFO. I mean,
we're seeing that. We're seeing that in several organizations where they actually have a chief analytics officer that sits, his office is right next to the CFO's, because, and you also have to consider too, the CFO still has to be outwardly facing. So, especially in publicly traded organizations, he's the face to the Wall Street. So, one guy's got to take on some internal aspects of that, and the CFO's got to take on both roles as well.
I think maybe we've even touched upon it, some of the trends. Are there any big trends that you're seeing coming into finance, or would be like game changers?
Sure, with blockchain and Bitcoin, we're seeing a proliferation of people chasing after that. The interesting thing is there's still a lot going on with blockchain, and obviously it started out with some payment capabilities, but then as you look at, there's agreements that we can get into, and all sorts of other contractual pieces, as well as just even processing public distributed ledger transactions that are traceable. But I think because it's still in its infancy stage, we're going to see some industries that are actually going to be changing their operating models because of blockchain. The other thing that we're seeing too is AI and ML with inside of finance. We're going after forecasting, planning, and pricing models. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to bring that technology to bear as well within a CFO's office. The interesting thing though too is then we've been doing some research, and there are a lot of CFOs that are holding off on it because orange is not the new black. They want to be very careful about where they put some of these technologies into their financials, because it can be a little more disruptive than they care to see.
Sure. I mean, AI and ML in finance, I mean, it's an exciting opportunity. It's scary. And even let's talk on the consumer side of things. You talk to a financial analyst throwing in numbers. Now it could be something, an offering for the consumer through the financial institution is saying, hey, what are your goals here? And it will spit it out pretty quickly based on the models that are created. I mean, that's exciting for the consumer, but it also can be scary.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so again, because until we learn more about how it's going to impact those set of financials, it's still in its infancy. And so we're watching it very carefully, and we're working with a couple of our core customers to start doing some projects in that area.
Never stop tweaking, and never stop improving. It's a never-ending
constant
process.
Change. That's why I said it's not a destination, it's a journey.
It sure is. It's like I said, in fact, I said that at the beginning yesterday when we opened it up. Hey, it's going to be 3 days of a lot of interviews. It's just like in life, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right.
Let's talk about here at the expo floor. How many years, partners, you've been coming?
This is my 4th year.
4th year. So what have you seen, the transition, the excitement? Of course, this year we've got World Series here in the city, but based just on partners, what's some of the excitement? The general session was fantastic yesterday as well.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, even the blockchain conversation that we started seeing, and it's just been a really, really great partners and a lot of great attendance. And again, you're seeing some new technology. You've got VR all over the place. You've got AI all over the place. And so you can see we are clearly welcoming all these new technologies at Partners.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun. Been fun having you here, chatting with you. Jay Humphreys,
Thank you so much.
Again, Teradata Think Big Analytics Finance Foundation Practice Director. Well, we're going to keep the party rolling, and there's nobody better at a party than David McCreary, a man on the streets, wandering around once again. Shot some video, had a chance to catch up with some attendees here. I cannot wait to see what he did. Hey, check it out.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm hanging out here in the expo hall. What is going on, right? Oliver, how you doing?
Good, David. How you doing?
Great. What is going on here?
Oh, well, we are filming as well. This is 360 cinematic, so we are filming everything around us here right now. In fact, if you right now turn around, you see the people behind us, and I'm just going to take the audience for a little stroll here and show them what is all happening here on the expo
That is great.
floor.
So you're filming us, filming us.
Filming us, filming the other way as well. Yes.
Mind blown.
Right?
That is fantastic. You having fun this week?
Yes. Oh my God, it's awesome.
What are you looking
The
for?
energy is.
The energy is.
The energy is good. So many customers that are here, right? So many partners. I think we have 4,400 people here. Today we brought in an extra 500 employees from our local offices, and they just all love it. So it's great.
And earlier I talked to somebody coming out of the general session, and they talked about how much they loved your Arnold impression. You want to do it for us right now?
I'll be back.
It's like it's flawless. Like you don't even have to try.
Austrian, right? Austrian. That's what's in your blood.
So good. All right, well, go have fun
Awesome.
with your camera, your robot. Does it have a name?
Does it have a name? That's a good question. Battle Lord.
I was thinking you were going to say Terminator because we just did the Arnold thing.
You're right.
Battle Lord's pretty awesome though. All right, so we're going to come down here. I want to talk to one of the clients are just hanging out along here, down here to Cloudera. Cloudera, we talk about giving away swag. Cloudera gives away T-shirts. That's like upper level free stuff. So we're going to come down here and talk to the folks at Cloudera. They're all working pretty hard right now. I don't know who we're going to talk to. Right now they're all busy working. I was going to talk to somebody here. We'll come down here and talk to Cloudera right here. Hey guys. Hey, that's all right. Hey guys, you doing all right?
I'm doing great.
You guys doing a little networking here?
We are. We work together, but we've never met in person, so we're getting.
Really? So here at Teradata, at Partners, you guys
together.
meet for the very
Yes.
first time.
Yes.
Are you trying to get? They have free shirts back here. Are you trying to get a free shirt?
Yeah, that's why I'm hovering. Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Oh, you heard me? You heard me saying right? Yeah. So, well, here's the problem. The folks at home don't know that I'm not wearing shoes. It's very staticky in here. Everybody I talk to, but it runs through the mic, so I have to take my shoes off. So I know it's awkward for it's awkward for a man to walk up to you barefoot and talk to you. But all right, well, I'll let you get back to meeting each other for the first time.
Thank you.
You guys have a blast, and we'll see you later this week. All right, so let's come right back here. All kinds of networking going on back here. That's the thing about the expo hall. There's even room over here where people set up and network. And these guys, you can tell these guys, I don't want to interrupt them right now, but you can tell right now, you can tell by the looks on their faces that they are in a very in-depth conversation. I could jump in there and say, hey, what are you guys talking about? But something important is going on right here. I don't want to interrupt that. So we'll come over here, work going on here. And you can see just a sea of people down through here. Here's the crazy thing. It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime, and this place is still packed. Nobody wants to get away from the expo hall because it's so great. We'll come down here. The Teradata, you call it a booth. This is not a booth. This is amazing. We're going to go over here to the folks. Let's see what they're giving away at Teradata. You know what? Let me talk to these guys right here before we talk to Teradata. Hey guys, hate to interrupt. I just want to I want everybody at home, the virtual audience, see people networking. It's very important that this is happening in the expo hall. What are you guys talking about? If it's okay to tell people.
We're talking about work.
Why do I not believe a word you're saying? You guys having fun so far?
Yes. Having
Yeah.
a blast.
What you got the bag on? Do you have it filled with swag, free stuff?
Not today. Last night we did.
Okay, what's the best thing you found last night?
We walk around everything, like food and then get swag, everything.
The food last night was amazing. Did you eat till you were sick?
Yeah, mostly.
Absolutely. Yeah, no breakfast this morning. Right. All right, well, you guys have a blast this week. Thanks for letting me interrupt your conversation. I'll let you get back to talking about work. Go ahead. We'll see you guys. All right. I told you I was going to come back here. Here's the Teradata. I keep, like I said, booth. This is a huge booth. But they're giving away free stuff. Fidget spinners. These fidget spinners right here. I know there's so much more important stuff to talk about than fidget spinners, but they light up, and it may not be able to. I don't know if you can catch that on the. You see it lit up in the dark. That's amazing. Oh, it is better on that side. It's not as. You know what? I need to talk about more important stuff than fidget spinners. Let's come over here. We got some more folks right here. Guys, I hate to interrupt. Just keep going. Keep talking. We're making sure everybody at home knows that networking is going on here at the Expo Hall. You guys look like you were really in an in-depth conversation.
We're talking about the Teradata Analytics platform and how that's going to help out. Doing SIM and Artem and.
Okay. Did you guys go to the general session this morning?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
What was your favorite part?
The MIT was out there. Very interesting, thought-provoking.
Yeah.
I know a lot more about Bitcoin than I ever want to.
Really? So you're more intelligent from going to that. Is that what you're telling me? You've gained intelligence.
It made you think.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, fantastic.
It's nice to be on the edge of next about all this. So.
That's boom. He worked the whole title in. That was fantastic. We didn't even rehearse that. That was good.
Working with a customer that's
working on the edge of next right now. That's what we're talking about.
Awesome. Well, keep talking. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing here. That's right. We'll see you guys. We'll come down here. More stuff going on right here. I wonder if they're talking about being tall. We'll find out. Just coming in. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Sorry, just keep talking. Just keep talking. I want people. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm not even here. I just want people to hear your conversation, but you talk louder so it makes it in the mic.
Okay, bye. Sell.
I was just explaining. I was just working with this platform to migrate from the old system to the new system, the IntelliFlex.
So did you guys, have you known each other before you got here?
Just meeting up here, yeah.
So we worked together.
He's
that
denying
was the wrong thing? Oh, no.
He's denying it. You say 10 years.
I say, yeah, I'm sticking with it.
We just met now. Yeah.
All right, did you guys have fun at general session?
Data database, that's why you are connected.
And I turn those things into clouds for
Nice.
Teradata.
Okay. So did you guys have fun at the general sessions this morning? Because we talked before you went in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. I was on my phone.
Making money.
Bitcoin.
He is already running one.
I did whatever he said not to do. It didn't work, though.
All right. Well, you guys have fun. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt. We'll see you guys. Have a great week. All right. We're going to come right over here to hang out with, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, here's Danny Orleans back here. Danny Orleans is an amazing magician. He's here every year. He's taking a break right now because at any given time you can see a group of people around here doing magic. We're going to talk to these ladies right here. I'm going to sneak in and talk to the ladies right here. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry to interrupt. You guys, weird question. Are you networking right now?
We are networking. We work for different companies, so we are actually networking.
Great. Did you guys just meet today?
No, we've known each other for years.
Okay. So, but this is a place to catch up, right? Teradata Partners Conference?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love meeting here.
So let me ask you this. What about, what's the craziest free stuff you've gotten so far? Anybody get any free stuff yet? You get around to booths and get some free stuff?
Have you gotten the cabinet squeezy toy?
The cabinet squeezy toy?
It looks like the cabinet. It's a squeezy toy.
Really? I'm going to go find the cabinet squeezy toy. Yeah.
In the NetApp booth, they have them.
In the what? NetApp booth?
In the
Right,
NetApp booth,
right
yeah,
there.
they have them up there.
Oh, they have famous people. There's Michael Jackson. I'm going to go see Michael Jackson.
Go see Austin Powers.
And Austin Powers. All right, I'm
Gotta
going to
see
find him
Austin
right now.
Powers, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for talking to me,
Good luck,
guys.
you betcha.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here. I'm getting motion to go over here. More networking. Guys, we're going to check out these networking. Michael Jackson is networking down there right now. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Sorry to interrupt. You guys are networking, and that's what we want to show people at home, that the expo hall is a place to network. You look like you're scared to death of me. Did I show you some magic last night? I did, didn't I? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So what are you guys networking about?
We're actually wireless, so there's no tether between us here, except for we're not susceptible to the crack, WPA2. Okay.
That just all went right over my head. I was pretending to follow along. That's awesome. Guys, have fun. Keep going. I'm gonna run down and talk to Michael Jackson. Let's go talk to Michael Jackson real quick. Michael Jackson's down here. There's Austin Powers and Michael Jackson, and I got about a minute to see these guys. Come right down here. Austin Powers and Austin Powers and the King of Pop.
Hey, you, man. Welcome. Nice to see you all. Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time. How about you guys?
It's not really about us.
We're good, yes.
Oh, yes, we're fine, yes. You look like you've had some caffeine.
I've had a little bit. This is fantastic.
Just a bit. If you were any more spazzed out, you'd be in a costume across the way.
That's a good point. I want to see dancing from you guys. Who wants to go first?
He will.
All right, Michael. Nice. Austin, it's your turn.
Yeah, baby. Yes, all right.
That was great. All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Nice meeting you. We'll see you. That was awesome. That was, look at that's a real smile. That's fantastic. All right, so look, you see behind me all kinds of networking going on. People are learning things right here. There's a class going on right here. Jeff, so much going on. I'm going to throw it back to you. I'll be back with you after a bit.
Telling you, that guy does not quit. Love it when David's out there. He's a pro at making people uncomfortable, and he's going to continue doing that over the next couple of days. I'm hoping to get him up here. David, if you're still listening, I'm hoping to get you up here on the news desk a little bit later on today, if not tomorrow. Back here in the Buzz Lounge, buzzing around. You got the robots out here still fighting for the robot challenge. You've got the VR a challenge going on as well. So again, a couple of reasons why you've got to be here in person if you're just watching virtually. Maybe you're in some type of a meeting, you're at lunch right now and you're watching. Wherever you're at, welcome back to the news desk. And again, if you have any questions at all, hashtag TDPartner17. We're monitoring all the chat boxes out there, so we want to know what you guys are doing and where you're watching from. Coming up next, this guy is great. Probably one of the oddest things I've ever found out about a guy. I'm going to tell you in a second, but his name's Jesse Lynch, Director of Architecture, Enterprise Data Solutions for T-Mobile. Jesse, thanks for hanging out. Here is one of the oddest things that I've ever found out. Lives in Seattle, but he's never, ever had a cup of coffee. There's not a single, you are alone. There's not a single person in Seattle, I think, like you. It can't be.
I apologize to Starbucks and everybody else who may be out there, but I can't drink it. I don't like coffee. I've tried it. I can't go there, and I've just said not going to happen in my life.
Oh, my
I don't have to tell you. I do apologize to Northwest for that. I know I'm a strange bird.
There's no need to apologize. Beautiful up there for all of you guys watching from the Northwest. Beautiful up there. Dream job would be running a shaved ice shop. Why is that? Why would you want to? I mean, I live in San Diego. That sounds like a dream job for me. But a guy from Seattle that loves Seattle.
Bringing rainbows to people every day in the form of ice and sugar and happiness. What do you think of when you think of shaved ice? You think of Hawaii, you think of nice places. I would love to bring that to folks every day and have conversations just like this.
I think that would be a great job, but it'd be a job that you have for 3 months out of the year in Seattle. That's what I think.
Hey, Baskin Robbins is open all year round. That's all I'm saying.
That is true. That is true. Here's another thing that I thought was interesting about you. Back in the 90s, you got to run camera for the Orioles at Camden, which I'm a huge fan of that baseball park. Petco Park in Camden have been seen as very, very similar, very family-oriented. You got to do that, talk about Orioles. Let's continue this trend of talking baseball. Dodgers and Astros here at Dodger Stadium. Predictions from you? What do you think? Hot. Yes.
That's what I think.
It is. It's going to be hot. But what do you think? I mean, it's going to be one heck of a series.
I think it is going to be one heck of a series, and go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
That's all I've got to say. Go Dodgers.
All right, good for you.
Well for it.
Yeah, you're a West Coast guy. You got to stick with the Dodgers.
Got to stick
here.
with it.
You spent the last 15 years developing information management, BI analytics, and marketing solutions in the telecom and financial industries. Currently the director in IT at T-Mobile, as I said earlier, working in areas such as marketing, sales, care, and finance. to meet ever-increasing needs for data analytics and reporting. Worked at Accenture as Safeco Insurance, driving similar data warehousing. Well, now you're here at T-Mobile. I want to chat with you about something I've never heard. I never heard of this term, but uncarrier. What does uncarrier mean for T-Mobile?
Jeff, uncarrier for T-Mobile really is it's a philosophy. It's an execution. It's a process by which we look at our customers and we say, what pain points can we solve for you? And it's been a pretty big deal for us because it really is rooted in 5 or 6 years ago, our ability to drive positive influence for our customers, to help our customers out. And during that time, I'd say we had some troubles. And we looked out at the wireless industry and said, how do we every day make sure that we're doing the best by our customer, not only ours, but hopefully helping out the entire customer landscape within telecom in the entire country, and that ability to break the mold and to really look at options for different things that our customers can do, different ways we make their lives simpler. And over those 5 years, we've done a lot of work to change the wireless industry. We have broken the concept of contracts. We've said, hey, there's no reason why you should be locked in a contract. If you've got a phone, your ability to leave should be there. If you own that phone, you should walk away. We should earn you every day.
That was something that really changed everybody's mindset. You guys really set the bar there, and then now the other carriers started following suit. I mean, it's great, and that's one thing about T-Mobile. People have seen T-Mobile as as a great company, but of course, they looked at maybe the bigger ones that were out there. A lot of the bigger ones that are out there, they put a lot of pressure on them. And that's what you guys continually to do. I feel like that's what your challenge should be, is putting pressure on them because you can do what they might not be able to do first.
You're exactly correct. And I mean, it has been, some of it's been an advantage that we don't have some of the legacy operations or different things that are associated with some of the big carriers. Yeah. And part of this is uncarrier. It's our ability to not only be uncarrier outside for our customers, but we've had to look within our company and say, how can we be uncarrier on the inside?
Yeah, I want to know about that. What does that mean internally to the company and on the IIT side?
Sure. So again, wanting to get rid of customer pain points, wanting to delight our customers, we've also had to take a look inside and go, how can we move at the pace with which we need to internally to deliver some of those cool things out to the market? We've had to talk about how do we dialogue around what minimal viable product is when we go put something out in the marketplace? How do we build a trust between our business and our IT organizations that we can get something out the door and we're going to fast follow with changes that can occur in order to really make sure we can take a product from good to great and take those times to actually listen to our customers and go, oh, we just launched something, we better tweak it pretty quickly. And it's taken a process and sort of an agile approach that was different for us culturally, and we've really needed to focus on that internally to create that trust and deliver those things out the door. From an IT standpoint, we've had to then look at our architectures. And yesterday there was a conversation that Oliver said you have to architect for the unknown. We're architecting for uncarrier, which is kind of unknown. So we've had to build different processes, different cultural norms of how we deliver, of how we break apart our architectures, but we're still able to put a cohesive transaction together to make sure that we can financially, put stuff into our systems and close the books. It's been a very different way to operate for us over the last 5 years, and our ability to architect for that has been really important.
So is it fair to say that we can now officially create another hashtag? Oliver's talking about it. T-Mobile, you guys creating this term, hashtag uncarrier. This is going to be something that's going to be exploding around the country, this uncarrier term?
You know what? For us, it already is, and I would be glad if anybody else uses that concept. Architecting for uncarrier. It's all about being different in anybody's industry, right? Uncarrier is carrier is a telecom term. This can work for any industry, but the concept has to be we want to do what's not the norm, and we want to do what's best for the customer. And that's been a big focus for us and a big mantra for us for the last 5 years.
That's the theme, I think, for next year. That's what Partners is all about. Being a little bit different. This is the home for the thinking different, being a little different, and but it's all about the customers, the end goal.
True.
The uncarrier strategy, talked about where it's at. Where does it go next?
I really have no idea where it's going next. I have no idea what uncarrier next is going to be, what the next cool thing we're going to put out there, the next surprise and delight. But I do know we're going to be able to handle it. We're going to be prepared for it. We're going to have the processes and the technologies in place to the best of our ability to meet that objective. and to not be afraid to take those chances and risks. Because for us, it's fun internally. For our customers, we think it's worked out pretty well. And I would say for all of the telecom customers out there in North America, I'd like to think we've made a little bit of a difference there. We'll be ready for it, and hopefully people look forward to it.
That's fun. That's great. I'm glad we're live on Facebook and YouTube because anybody can watch what's going on right now. We're live right now. Of course, partners.teradata.com/virtual. Once we are not live, you guys can still watch what's happening on the news desk. But for those of you that are watching out there, this is great. This is fun information about what's going on with T-Mobile. Un-carrier, I like that. We talked about why Partners is so fantastic for thinking different. What's your experience been this year? How many years, Partners?
9 years.
9 years?
9 years Partners, yep.
Okay. This year, the excitement, how do you feel about the edge of next?
I really like it. Having been here over the last 9 years, I have seen, much like T-Mobile's gone through some transitions, Teradata's gone through some transitions. And I know myself and our teams are really excited about the stuff that was announced yesterday, about the way that Teradata is embracing a little bit of the non-norm and saying, hey, we're part of the larger ecosystem, we can help you deliver, we can help you with different tool sets and products, and we can stitch together the really complicated world of BI and information management. We need that help, and the stories so far are really good.
Jesse, thanks a lot, man. It's been fun chatting with you. Hang out here for a second. Coming up next, we are going to be going over to a fantastic video. I like these videos. It's a real-world case study from Siemens, how they're leveraging data and analytics to stay ahead of what is next. Great video right here. Cup of coffee, I'm going to grab you one. We'll be back.
Transporting people and goods to all corners of the earth, global powerhouse Siemens is capitalizing on digitization, the Internet of Things, and cloud to give its customers 100% reliability for their rolling stock, also known as locomotives.
We were able to really capture all of the data from our installed base, meaning the rolling stock, trains, locomotives, and even infrastructure. And by capturing all this data and putting then the analytics on top, we were able to increase the availability. So we're able now to predict how the product, the rolling stock, locomotive, train will behave. We can, out of this prediction, draw our conclusion what kind of maintenance is necessary at which point of time. And by this, we can guarantee that the fleet is available anytime.
Data and analytics changed Siemens' thinking. It gave insights about predictive maintenance and parts failure that changed their business model from reactive to proactive.
Our customers demanding more and more consulting solutions, not only technical solutions anymore, and they also demand business solutions.
Those solutions give Siemens opportunities for new lines of business. The new commodity is reliability.
What do we mean with availability? We mean with availability making everything happen that our customers in our freight reaches the destination in time and safe. It's really 100%. It's not 99.9 something. It's really 100%. How can we accomplish 100%? With a technical machine like a locomotive, whereas mechanics, electronics, and things can fail. But if you understand the things and you understand what could fail, at which moment you can do something about it.
Digitizing and automating with the Internet of Things means massive amounts of data. Siemens needed an ecosystem that could ingest, scale, and employ analytics immediately.
We were coming to a point that out of our business needs, we realized that we need to analyze really big data for us, but we have never processed or analyzed before. So we are talking about 400 billion data points per fleet per year, or even 25,000 data points a second. And this blew up all our databases which we had so far, and we were looking for a partner to manage this going forward, and also having a safe future going forward.
Now Siemens engages consultant services and technology that meets strict international regulations, on-premise and in the cloud.
The crucial moment was, do we go cloud? With all the safety-related issues which we have with all our conservative customers, it was a difficult decision to make. Do we stay on-premise or do we go cloud? And working jointly with Teradata, understanding the opportunity, understanding also the safety requirements and how we can protect the data in the cloud, really enabled us to make the decision, yes, we go cloud.
Siemens has Teradata everywhere.
Teradata everywhere means for me when we need them somewhere, I don't need half a year until anything is set up or something started. It's something which is really tangible. It's there, it's people, it's faces which are locally available, and we can get it done in the right speed to implement solutions for our customers. So Teradata everywhere means I have them right where I need them.
Deployment of Teradata everywhere allows Siemens to move at the speed of business globally.
It's almost essential for us. We are dealing in 138 countries, and we have different legislation in these different countries. For example, China, their data is not even so easy transportable via the borders. We have also other customers, we have safety requirements some customers have to us. So there is not one size fits all. We need to listen to our customers, to their requirements, to the legislation, to their rules, and find every time the best solution.
Siemens Mobility, capitalizing on digitization, the Internet of Things, automation, and the cloud to give its customers 100% reliability for their rolling stock.
Always great to hear those stories. Great video, as you can probably hear, as we're live. There's a lot of excitement going on out there in the expo hall. That's what's great about live. As I said in the opening video, anything can and will happen. I don't even know what I'm about to say. That's what's great about live. We don't plan a whole lot, but what we do know is we're talking with movers and shakers in the industry. Speaking of, from Protegrity, the global head of corporate marketing, Vincent Lamb. Vince,
hey,
good to
nice
have
meet
you up
Jeff.
here.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to be talking about data-centric security.
That's right.
But let's talk about you for a second. Diverse background in the technology sector and has helped position Protegrity's data security products as best of breed in a competitive marketplace. Throughout his career, he's held leadership roles in product marketing, product management, product development involving innovative technology solutions to complex problems. What I basically need is I need you to follow me around in my life, so you can solve all the problems that I have and just be breezy. You just breeze through life. Can you do that?
I'm flattered, but honestly,
I can't pay you very much.
Well, I'm gonna have to reconsider that.
You're seen as a total geek at heart.
I am. You know what? I think in order to really do something well, you really have to enjoy it. And when it comes to technology, it really helps to have a passion for it. And for me, it's a personal thing. I really enjoy doing this. It's a great thing to do.
You're not your typical marketer that you see out there. You have multiple patents.
Yeah, so that, I guess you're right. It's not really typical, but I think it is typical for if you love something, you pursue it. And I think that's where I come from. And you know what? Yeah, so I happen to market and patent stuff. It happens.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It kind of goes along with what I was talking about with Vic Lund yesterday, seeing him up there on the general session. Every year, such an emotional, passionate person. He is truly committed to what the goal is, not just of the company, but of his personal life. And you can see he brings who he is as a personal person into business, and it works so well.
I think it's a known recipe for success. I think whatever we do out there, it really helps to love what you do. And I think it goes for the individual and, quite frankly, even for a company.
Let's dive right into it. I want to chat about how data security is impacting organizations today and what they can do about it. So data security is becoming more relevant in organizations today. Why?
Oh, well, why not? I mean, think about it. We are using data more and more. We're here at Teradata Partners, and it's clear. I mean, look around you. People are doing some amazing things with data. And one of the things that's really clear, I mean, even my wife, who's not involved with technology, I mean, she's fundamentally aware not only of data, but the need to secure the data. Because you know what? That has moved into the forefront, protecting that data.
You see any trends in data security? I mean, there's a lot of trends, there's a lot of buzzwords are fun, hashtags are fun. What are some of the hashtags? When you think data security, you don't think, well, party, hashtags, let's do it. You don't think that, but let's talk about it. There's got to be trends in data security.
There absolutely are. And let's be frank, in 2017, security is something that we come to expect in everything we do. And I think one of the big trends we're seeing is that security is a fundamental component now of a lot of the things that we do. There's no way that in 2017, when you look around in Teradata Partners, that security is not a word that's mentioned. Now, I think the big fundamental shift, though, in the market is not only the adoption of security by new products, but how in the world are you going to get everything you've got in your large enterprise and get it to be secure at the same time?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, you expect security, but you also nowadays you expect breaches. It's happened a lot, so you kind of expect that, but that also challenges companies like you guys to stay in the forefront and be. You have to be forward thinking because you're challenging them and they're challenging you, and it's a game that'll never end.
Well, you bring up an incredible point, and I think you're right. Unfortunately, the B word has popped up way too often, right? Breach. And you said something. You said we've come to expect it. But let's think about it for a second. Do we really have to accept that reality? I mean, the truth of the matter is there are tons of terrific companies out there with incredibly talented people that are working on this very problem. And quite frankly, this is not something that we should accept as the status quo. And in fact, our company, Protegrity, we make it our mission to make sure that's true.
So why take steps to go beyond native security?
So great question again. Think about it. You buy all these products, right? And for software, there's a whole ecosystem of them. Hardware, software, cloud, network, you name it. Now, in all those things, I mentioned security. It's kind of a piece of it. But no one product or vendor is going to do it all. And the transformative way to start thinking about this is start thinking about security on top of everything in a consistent and pervasive way that's always working, that's always on.
We said with the topic we're going to be chatting about was data-centric security. What is data-centric security? I could put some guesses out there, but I'd have no clue. Data-centric security, what is it?
Sure. Data-centric security, it's pretty much what it sounds. It's about protecting the data. And if you think about how data is protected, often there are different layers, right? You've got security at the network. You've got security on your device. But what are those bad actors out there after? They're not out to steal your device. They're actually out to steal the data on that device. And so by protecting the data itself, you afford the best protection possible. And that, in essence, is data-centric security.
How can Teradata database users take advantage of data-centric security?
So Teradata is a great platform. We've been partners with Teradata for over 11 years. We have amazing customers together. And one of the fundamental things that Teradata does very well is obviously they've created a brilliant ecosystem full of terrific uses for data, really innovative uses for data. Their product definitely has security built in, but sometimes you need to and you want to take it one step further. And so our product is a complement. We don't replace what Teradata does. What Teradata does is great. What we do is we make sure that we protect the data at a lower layer where Teradata can't. And the benefit of that is not just Teradata. It's when you take that data and you move it around, even outside of Teradata to the cloud, it all works. It all stays secure.
You've been coming to partners for the last 3 years with Protegrity. Is that what it is?
Personally, yeah. And the company's been partners for 11 years.
Yeah, for 11 years. So you've been coming here, but what have you seen over the last couple of years, the change? I mean, this year, I've said it multiple times. I'm going to say it again. I'll say it a few more times today. It's more focused on customers this year, I feel like. What is next? What does that mean to you, the edge of next? What does that mean to you personally and professionally?
Sure. Wow, it's a loaded question.
I know.
That's a good one, too. So quite frankly, I mean, there are many things that are happening next. Now, the customer focus is huge. I mean, for any company to succeed, the customers have to be number one. And you know what customers are demanding more than ever now? It's security. They want to make sure their information is protected, that their privacy is respected, and that they can trust the vendors and the companies that they deal with. Personally speaking, I think, the sky's the limit. Look around you. I mean, the innovation here is incredible. It's amazing what people are coming up with, the ideas that they have for data. And I think a consistent theme in that innovation is making sure that the data is usable and making sure that it's secure.
It's interesting you say that, come up with these ideas, be creative. Remember the think tanks. Have you been to some think tanks? I've been in some very interesting think tanks. If you know what a think tank is, you get a whole bunch of guys together and see, guys, girls together and throw some stuff out there. Kind of like you look at Fashion Week. You see these models walking down the runway, and you're like, I would never wear that. Well, it's got to start somewhere.
It's true. And
then we'll see what kind of what goes from there. But you dream big now, and in such a short period of time, those dreams, it'll never happen, or it'll be 10 years. No, year and a half, 2 years. If you dream it, it can happen so fast with the support technology that's out there, and it's fun. It's a lot of challenges though. There's a lot of pressure on people.
It is. But at the same time, that's the allure, right? I mean, when you have this many smart people all working together, I mean, the sky's the limit. And we mentioned earlier that whole thing about security. Let's not accept this crazy notion that a breach has to happen or negative things have to happen. Let's accept for the moment that we've got enough great people out there working on this problem with technologies like this so that will never be a problem ever again. I mean, think about this. You make a phone call today, right? Do you doubt the fact that you can turn on the phone and push the button and connect? 99% of the time, you take it for granted because it just works. That's what security is going to be like, and that's what this whole data-centric security is all about.
That's a great way to put it. That's really a great. I mean, I apologize. I had to bring up the elephant in the room. The B word.
I know, I told you the B word is a dangerous word, but it's okay. We're going to get rid of that word soon.
It's a dangerous word, but you've got to have it out there in order to create the solution. And obviously at Protegrity, with you, Global Head of Corporate Marketing, well on his way. I appreciate you coming up here and talking about that and not just hitting me in the face when I bring up the B word, Vince. I appreciate that.
Anytime,
Thanks
Jeff.
a lot. Vincent Lamb again from Protegrity. That's what the great interviews are all about. We have somebody like that coming up here and speaking candidly about data-centric security. And I like learning about all this stuff. Cheryl Weeb is coming up next, Practice Director, Industrial Intelligence. Industrial intelligence. You hear a lot of words here. I'm going to find out what, I guess it's II. Think Big Analytics, a division of Teradata. Cheryl, she leads the Industrial Intelligence and Analytics Solutions practice that formed from her work initiating Teradata's analytics of things practice. The digitalization megatrend has been central to her work over the past 20 years, consulting with global 1,000 clients who are embedded and operationalizing analytics at scale into industrial internet, connected vehicle, connected factory, and other emerging settings. How are you?
Very well.
All in one breath.
Yes,
I
thank
took
you.
a little breath in there. I got to start off. Industrial intelligence. I haven't heard that before. You got AI, BI, now you got II. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I mean, it is a new term that we've coined because with the Internet of Things and more intelligence in the devices that are deployed out there, we hope that we can start increasing the intelligence of what those devices are doing. And we want to do that through repeatable solutions that we're building with all of the work that we've done with our customers over the past 10, 15 years. Industrial customers with use cases such as predictive asset maintenance, predictive failure, early warning, optimization of efficiency of resource management, and things like that. So outcome-driven, analytics-enabled use cases that industrial companies are using to change their business and participate in the digitization trend.
Well, I think you touched on a lot of it, but why industrial IoT? Might as well go into it a little bit more.
Right. Well, with the declining cost curves for devices and the declining costs of sensors, more and more devices are getting wired up, able to talk. But the real value in the analytics that we're seeing first gets established in the larger things. So there's the industry consists of small things, almost like the Internet of watches and Internet of toothbrushes and the Internet of, and so those small things are cool and they're consumer IoT type use cases are very understandable by our end users, but it's not really clear yet where the value is coming from doing analytics at that level. On the other hand, industrial companies have always had sensors in their devices, have always built models to predict what those large industrial machines will do, and they've always seen the value in building analytics. What's happened now is that they're more able to connect and bring that data into the corporate headquarters where multiple sets of data, multi-domains of data can be connected for much more valuable analytics that can make profound and highly valuable impacts on their business and create brand new business models. So again, the reason we're focusing on first the industrial IoT is that Industrial companies have more experience with those types of analytics, and they have more connection to how to make a business case for the use of the technology before the consumer IoT type of situations are going to get off the ground. Our opinion.
Industry 4.0, what's the difference or relationship between Industry 4.0 and IIoT? Industrial, I like to say the industrial intelligence now, but IIoT.
You know, if you drew a Venn diagram between Industry 4.0 and industrial IoT, they would be it'd be almost like a total eclipse of the sun, right? But, you know, Industry 4.0 is a term that has come from the operations technology world, heavily driven from work that's been done in Europe. And Industry 4.0 is huge in Europe and is just totally correlated with industrial IoT. So there's almost no difference. I think there tends to be a bigger focus on the factory of the future and digitization of brownfield sites, as well as you know, a newer factory with robotics. And so again, there's not a huge difference. It really depends on every organization's focus and where their entry point, where their interest, what communities of practice they belong to, what standards committees they speak with, and you know, where they get started.
Let's talk about the recommendations to your customers. What do you recommend to your customers to get started? That's the hardest part for anything. You know, I'm trying to get back in the gym. Hardest part is getting started. Mm-hmm. I know what I need to do, but what's the first step?
Right. Well, it depends what our entry point is with the customer. So if sometimes the information technology group at the customer approaches us and says, you know, more and more of our business units want to deal with IoT, and we don't know how to support them. So if that's the case, what we often recommend is, you know, you need to start building your capability. You need to sort of understand what capabilities you have that you'll need to deal with these coming larger and larger high-frequency data streams that are going to come at you. You're going to have to start thinking about IoT platform partners. So in the whole realm of an IoT end-to-end solution, you have to deal with what am I going to be running at the edge? What's going to be my connectivity solution to get the data from the edge to that corporate data center? What's going to be my ability to push analytics back into the edge? What is my analytics of things solution set going to be? And all of those capabilities to run a complex system of systems like that is going to take some new capabilities. So number one, we ask them to look at what their capabilities are and kind of do a little gap assessment there. So that's one way to start. And then another really big part of getting started for them is making sure they have a data sandbox, a way to bring large batches of sensor data in to start experimenting with how they would interconnect, stitch together the sensor data and contextualize it with asset information from their large enterprise systems, transactional information that says, well, what is the history of this asset? Where's this tractor been in its life cycle? What is the history of maintenance in its life cycle? Oh, and now we've got these new streams of oil pressure sensors, frequency monitoring, vibration analysis, all kinds of physical phenomena that start getting monitored about the condition of that machine out in the field. So that's the major recommendation to the IT folks, is to start enabling your data scientists to play with that new type of data. And then if we start talking to the business side, the first thing I always ask them is, well, are you an industrial company that is looking to improve your internal operations? Meaning, are you going to use IoT type technology to enable better cost efficiency for your own operation? Are you trying to connect your factories? Are you trying to manage your buildings or your infrastructure better? Or are you already an original equipment manufacturer and your business model is around monitoring and making sure your customers' engines or fleet in the field run well and run optimally? Are you going to create a new business out of that? And so that's a key differentiation. So there we basically ask them to make sure they have a strategy on, is this an internally focused or is this an externally focused kind of IoT capability that you're trying to build? And depending on what the answer to that is, there are various things, but usually we ask them to get focused on a single use case that will demonstrate the value of using this technology and connecting it back to their IoT strategy, their digitization strategy.
Great advice. I mean, for you out there watching, if you watched all that, you heard all that, you get 4 college credits right there just for watching. That was fantastic advice. That was great advice.
Thank you.
I keep saying think big analytics. What is Think Big Analytics and Teradata doing in the IoT space?
Okay, well, the reason we called it Think Big Analytics is we want to help our customers think broadly, think big in the context of where are you taking this technology, what is your strategy going to be, and then get started with a very small use case. What we're doing is a couple of different things with IoT. One is we're helping customers think through that business strategy and what data they have and analytic capability they need to enable it. So that consists of sort of a data and analytics roadmap, really customized for digital business IoT. So roadmap, data and analytics roadmap. The second thing we're doing is we've got a number of product solutions that are around these industrial use cases that we have self-contained applications that can be run in a very quick pilot mode. So we can bring it to life and help customers prove the value of an idea they have, whether it be connecting their supply chain or whether it be running their assets in a much more connected way or whether it be connecting one of their factories. There, what we do is bring this small pilot application to bear, show how it ran, demonstrate that it improved yield or improved asset uptime, and then we use that learning to justify a think big, go big kind of strategy after that. At that point, that's when we have to start talking about what are our opinions about the technology that should be implemented to implement this at scale. And that's kind of how we are trying to go to business a lot more with a technology agnostic implementation that says if that works, now we'll have some very strong opinions about what technologies are needed to bring that to life at scale. So that's basically what we're doing is we're advising them on the roadmap, we're implementing small use case driven pilots and then helping them operationalize those use cases at scale and potentially running that in a managed outsourced manner in the long sustaining window.
Any questions you might have has been answered right there from Cheryl Weed. Cheryl, thank you very much. Some really fun facts. Canadian
yes.
from Winnipeg. You
yes.
left Canada to get some warmer weather living in California, but then your kids now go to University of Minnesota, so it's like a full circle. You
yes.
get right back to the cold. You visit them quite a bit.
I visit them often. I grew up in Winnipeg, which is kind of north of Minneapolis, so we'd go down to Minneapolis to warm up, actually. And so now my kids love the seasons, and so I guess it skips a generation.
Yeah, that's exactly. They love it. You're trying to get out of it. Right.
Yeah.
Great chatting with you. Thanks so much, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Well, from Winnipeg, of course, you got a lot of snow. From the snow, we're going to stay with the snow theme because his next guy's 5 kids. But he still finds the time to snowboard and mountain bike. Yeah, that's how you manage your time right there. Talking about the Executive VP of International Sales for MicroStrategy, that is Steven Zeller. How are you? I'm doing great. 5 kids, mountain bikes, some snowboarding, work it all in. Where's your favorite place to snowboard? Where do you live?
Well, I live in Virginia now.
Okay.
But I spent about 10 years in California, so Heavenly and Lake Tahoe are some of my favorites. Yeah.
Oh, Kirkland up there, jumping on that. So it's great. It's hard to beat boarding or skiing in Tahoe. It's a beautiful area up
It
there.
is.
I
Great
love that
spot.
area.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be chatting with you about modernization with enterprise analytics and mobility. Let's brag about you for a sec. Currently the Executive VP, International Sales MicroStrategy, as I said. In this role, he's responsible for all customer-facing operations in Europe, APAC, MEA, and did you say MEA or MEA on that one?
EMEA is good. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
a lot of these acronyms, I'm not sure. LATAM. Prior to joining MicroStrategy, Stephen had a senior role at Lexmark International and Experian Ltd. Well, we're going to be chatting about MicroStrategy. What is MicroStrategy?
Yeah, so MicroStrategy is one of the leading analytics providers. So we're a BI company focused on the Global 2000 organization. So most of our customers have some of the largest data sources and largest issues, I would say, to tackle in terms of digital transformation and modernization. And so we help them with the front end of their BI stack and provide an analytics and mobility solution for them.
And I know you guys have had some success with mobile. Where are your customers seeing the most value?
So I think our customers, in terms of mobility, I'll maybe tell a story. About 2 weeks ago, I went out to a Gartner event, and the head of analytics for Gartner talked about digital transformation and the fact that we're sort of in the, we're in the probably 2 or 3 year period of the highlights of digital transformation and how businesses now have to actually operationalize digital transformation. So there's really high expectations. And MicroStrategy has been the leader in digital transformation in mobile for many years. So we've got customers today that have rolled out applications for, let's say, like clienteling in retail. So being able to walk into a store and have all of your customer information come up in front of the sales associate so they understand what you've purchased, what you might be interested in. And similarly, we have banks, like a private wealth organization, being able to have their field sales organization carry iPads and do all their business on the iPad versus carrying around a briefcase as they used to do. So all those applications are things that we've got operationalized and customers using in the field today. So I feel like digital transformation is something that we've been doing for many, many years.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect segue, I think, into the customers. Are they getting more sophisticated with machine learning and AI? I mean, we all, we're around it for the most part, but the customers are getting more sophisticated and challenging you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have customers now in the shop floor using our mobility and analytics platform to take machine sensor data right off the line and be able to optimize their shop floor. So, for instance, we have some automotive suppliers that have taken the lead in this area, developing applications and using applications in production today on the shop floor. So it's exciting to be able to go to a big shop floor and see what real-time or predictive analytics can do on the shop floor. So traditionally, not folks that are using analytics, being able to use their mobile phone or an iPad that's attached to the machine to be able to make decisions in real time in a way that wasn't possible even 2 years ago.
So what are some of the key differentiators in the big data space?
Yeah, so I mean, MicroStrategy I think has been a key player in big data even before the term big data was coined. So we deal with customers like Netflix and Facebook that have had huge amounts of data long before anyone really coined the term big data. So most of our customers, I find, we have a symposium series that we do. Our CEO has just gotten back from a world tour of about 3 weeks of 15 cities, and time and time again what we find is customers come to us and say, you know what, we've tried other applications and our biggest challenges, our biggest data problems, we've had to come to MicroStrategy to solve those problems. And so I think that's the biggest differentiator for us, is the ability to handle huge amounts of data and huge amounts of users. And then the other thing is being able to connect to a number of different legacy applications and big data appliances. So not being stuck with just a central data store. I think we've got a great partnership with Teradata, but we're finding now that customers are using Teradata in addition to a number of other appliances because many times with IoT, your data is not stored locally, right? Your data is going to be out in the field, or it's going to be not in a central location. So being able to connect all those systems together in one platform is a real strength of MicroStrategy.
I think partners is I guess the center, the core of aha moments.
Yeah.
What about the customers? Do you have any aha moments you can share with us?
Yeah, well, this week we've had a ton of aha moments. We had a customer last night come in and he said he had seen MicroStrategy about 18 months ago, and he saw the demonstration of our latest release yesterday, and he said it's unbelievable the amount of work that we've done on the front end of the UI with MicroStrategy. We've got a dossier capability now, which essentially allows for analytics at the user level to be able to be used similar to a book. So it's got chapters and pages, and you're able to flick through it just like you think about when your child picks up Netflix, right? They just immediately know how to use it. Analytics has never been that way, and with our dossier capability, it enables customers to be able to just pick up an application either on an iPad or on a computer and immediately be able to navigate through and get to the data that they want.
You got 5 kids. I've got a couple of kids. I don't know if you find this, but I find it frustrating when I can't do something. I don't want to ask my 14-year-old because then he always has one up on me.
That's true.
He does. I have a 4-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. I've got one kid that treats me like I'm God. I've got another one that tells me why I'm not. And he shows me all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time. That's a fun thing about having kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in the middle of day number 2 here. What are you looking forward to the rest of today and tomorrow, excluding the House of Blues concert that's going to be happening? We're all looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, I think connecting with our customers, meeting new customers at the show. It's been a very good turnout for the last couple of days. We've had tons of folks come by. So I'm looking forward to introducing them to our new release. It just came out 2 weeks ago, and it's been a great success here. We've had a lot of great feedback, so looking forward to more of that.
Well, there you go. Thanks a lot. Hang out here for a second. We've been live, YouTube and Facebook, and of course on the Teradata side. We appreciate you guys staying in live, but we're going to be wrapping that up very, very soon. In just a moment, I'm going to toss it out to David. I'm not sure where he's at, but again, Steven Zeller, Executive VP of International Sales. Thanks, Steven.
Thank you very much.
Hang out here, and I want you to see what David's up to. We're all wondering where he's at, what's going on. We'll be back with more interviews again. You guys can be a part of it on partners.teradata.com/virtual. But first, David, where are you at?
Thanks, Jeff. Hanging out in the Buzz Lounge right now. Right behind me, we got somebody getting ready to walk the plank. Somebody mentioned this earlier. Excuse me, what is your name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, are you nervous about, I take it you're the next one to do this?
Yes, sir.
Are you nervous?
A little. I'm excited to do the jump off at the end, I think.
Are you scared of heights?
I'm not. I'm a thrill seeker, but I know a few people are, and they're unsure if they want to try it.
So you think you'll be able to, you nail it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Can you do it? How long until you actually walk this plank? Do we know what's going on here?
I think she's calibrating something, so I don't know. But I've got some gymnastic skills, so I might do all right.
Oh, so you could maybe do a flip across the
I don't know about that.
No? All right. Well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to let you do your thing, but I'm probably going to come back at some point to make sure you're doing all right. So if you hear me talking to you or cheering you on, you know what that is. It's me. I'm David.
David.
All right.
Thank
so
you.
When you hear the crazy, it's me.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
good luck. Don't fall. All right. Did you just Oh, okay. That makes total sense then.
My shake, it probably wasn't.
This is the way we shake at Teradata now. That's how we do it. All right. From falling off something? Hopefully not.
Probably.
All right. Well, good luck. All right, guys. How you doing over here? I'm gonna talk to you right now. How you doing? How you pronounce your name?
Forjo.
Forjo. What are you having fun today?
Yeah.
Are you gonna try this?
I'm scared of heights, so I'm just standing out here cheering on people.
Well, listen. You say you're afraid of heights, but I want to point something out to you. Yeah. That's only about 1.5 inches off the ground.
I know. It looks like that until you put the headset on.
You are probably who I most want to see on this thing if you're scared of heights.
No.
How much? I got $3 cash money on me.
No, it's not going to happen.
So you just here watching other people scared to death?
Yes.
All right, we'll have fun today.
Thanks.
And I need to give you my phone number, because if you do it, I want to be here to watch.
All right. Maybe at the end of the day.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right, so they're working on that right now. Over here, we've got some, you know what, let's come around this way just so wait, shoot over this way here. This way what we've got is robots are battling behind me. Actual robots are battling each other. Can you see what's happening? We got right now 3 people battling these bots. Well, the people aren't battling the bots are battling each other. Look, that one like right there. That looks real. You see the screen behind it, they got a camera. Oh, I got to get in there and do this. I got to get in there and do this. Sir, are you wanting to battle these bots?
No, I am just watching.
Just watching? Are you afraid that robots are going to take over someday?
No, but this is my grandson, and that's my grandson over there, and this is my granddaughter.
Right. All right.
And
You
they're
think
playing the
This
game?
is my dad.
Oh, this
is Troy.
Troy Kreit's dad right here. I didn't even know I was talking to a celebrity. Here he
No,
is.
I'm nobody.
Oh, well, you think you're gonna be able to peel the kids away from there?
Never.
Never?
Never. It's gonna be a full day thing. He didn't know what he was signing up for when he brought him over here.
Troy, how's it going? Are you having fun so far?
Having a great time. Yeah, I just did a news desk, right? And pretty soon I'm getting ready to get my butt whipped by my son and my nephew on the robotic. Yeah.
Right, when they've had practice. So good luck. I'm rooting for you. From one dad to another, I'm rooting for you. Yeah, that's right. We stick together. Stick together. All right. So bye-bye, guys. Have fun. So we'll come up here. Like I said, the Buzz Lounge is just a lot of fun. This is adults not adulting, basically, over here. Just having fun, getting crazy. Let's find out what's going on over here. We got people hanging out at a table. Look like they're doing important work. You guys are hanging out at the Buzz Lounge, but it looks like you're working. The Buzz Lounge is supposed to be fun. Are you working?
Just a little bit, but it's fun work.
It's fun work? Why is it fun work?
Because we get to help out with all of this, so it's fun work.
You're making the Buzz Lounge happen.
We're buzzing the Buzz Lounge.
Ooh, that was good. Buzzing the Buzz Lounge. Have you tried any of this stuff yet?
Yeah,
Did you walk the plank?
I did. I jumped off the plank.
You did? So you made it across?
I didn't jump. I stepped off the end of the plank.
Is it terrifying? Because I'm going to try it at some point.
It's terrifying.
Is it really?
It is terrifying.
Okay.
You're 2 inches off the ground, and your brain says you are 50 stories off the ground, and you just can't bring the two together.
All right, I'm gonna try it. All right, well, thanks for talking. I'll let you keep working so that it's running when I get over there. All right, thanks, guys. Right here, we can talk to these folks right here. Hey guys, how you doing over here?
Doing well.
Hanging out in the Buzz Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gonna try? See you sitting here talking about this thing. You gonna jump on there?
I'm thinking about it. Should I?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you should absolutely do. I want to do it at some. I'm gonna do it at some point. But I just talked to somebody who said it's terrifying.
Yeah, he was saying the same thing.
I tried. It's very challenging to jump at the last moment.
Really?
At the end, I really hesitated. Oh, can I? But I couldn't. So in order to jump, actually, I should have thought of the real reality instead of virtual reality.
You had to convince yourself that you're not really.
Yeah. Otherwise, I could have not tried jump in.
Also, I just saw this guy doing it here. So when you jump off, you're not jumping onto something. You're just jumping off into nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Scary.
That's got to be scary.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, it's a virtual reality. It's not real, but it messes with you that much.
Yeah, actually, how can I tell? It's really real. I feel like it's real stuff. I'm really in the sky, and yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. Thanks for talking to me, guys. Have fun today. We'll come back here. I want to play one of the robots. So come over here. Excuse me. I don't know if I can squeeze in, but we'll get a shot of them playing. I can't play right now because we've got 4 people playing. There's probably a line here. We're just gonna look over his shoulder here. Just keep playing, sir. Don't let me bother you. Is this your robot right here? Yeah. Okay, I'm rooting for you. What is your name?
Alan.
Alan. This is Alan's robot right there. You're going backward. You're just in the corner, Alan. What's going on here? There you go. You turn around. You keep going backwards. There we go. No, now you're going to get sick. This is warm-up. She's saying this is a warm-up right now. Just a warm-up. Let's come down here and talk to her so we can hear what she's saying about these battle bots. I just want to hear what you're saying. What are you telling these folks?
So right now they're in a warm-up. They're just trying to get familiar with the controls of the robot and everything like that to see if they're able to even defeat each other. Okay. So after they finish getting warmed up, they're going to have 3 minutes to battle each other. The first person that wins actually gets a chance to enter in to win one of these robots.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So how do you win? Is there a way to shut the thing down?
You just got to kill him. You got to kill your component. You can't let him win. You know, you have sensors here, one in the front and the back, the back and the front of the robot.
So you're trying to turn it off is killing it?
Okay. Yeah, trying to, disfigure it, whatever you do. Just don't throw it over the edge.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Have you grown attached to any of them that you feel bad once they're gone?
You know what? It's a robot. It can be replaced.
So you're saying no?
If an arm falls off, we just screw it back on. A leg fall off, we screw it back on. So it's all right. It ain't gonna die.
Now, are you good at this? If you got on one of these things right now, would you win?
I'm kind of nervous because, when I see people around, I, kind of clam up. But I can talk and, get people going. But I'll try it out.
All right, you're doing a great job so far with the talking part. Thanks so much. Did you just say Al? Did one of these robots attack you? I heard you say Al.
Yes, he got me, but I'm okay.
And you sure it was somebody else's robot, not yours?
It was probably mine, actually. I probably just attacked myself.
All right, well, good luck. Good luck. Maybe you end up winning one of these. You can win a robot on here. Let's come back out here. There's people lined up along the ropes here. I'm going to jump in front of you. Excuse me, sir. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys ready to jump in here and try these robots?
I would say unbeaten. I won yesterday, so.
You won yesterday.
Yeah, you champion,
Really? Yeah. So you're hoping to win one of these things?
Yes, of course.
Did you know you could win one?
No, I don't know. I want to bring one home, so now we'll see.
She just told me you can win one. Oh. I don't know what having one would do if you were going to battle by yourself, but it would still be pretty cool. Is there a secret to winning this thing? Or you just go until they die?
Just stay calm. Then you will win. Then.
Yeah. Did you grow close to your robot? Did you name it before it happened?
I'm calling it Ellen.
Ellen? That was good for right on the top of your head. That was fantastic. So you guys having fun this week?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did you guys make it to the general sessions?
Yeah.
Would you anything you took away from there? Anything super amazing?
I think the MIT guy, that was amazing.
I heard a lot about that. I didn't get to make it because I was doing this kind of stuff, but it was good?
Yeah, it was very, very good.
Great. Awesome. Well, have fun this week. Go get a lot of free stuff, and good luck. Maybe you'll win one of these.
Yep.
All right. So, Jeff, we are having a great time here. We've got new people lining up to play. I didn't see what happened there. We just had somebody jump off the plank a second ago. I keep missing that. I got to go try that. I want to try that. Jeff, I don't know if you've tried that yet. I would love to see you on that thing. But it's funny to see people this high off the ground look like they're absolutely terrified of falling off. It's, like I said, that far off the ground. You get a shot of it. So this is what people are seeing right now. Like, you see he's putting on the virtual reality. He's looking out at this. I think he gets on an elevator and rides to the top, and then he walks the plank. You know what, Jeff? I'm going to go try it. I'm going to try it right now, so I got to throw it back to you. I'm walking the plank.
David, all over the place. We're going to be checking back with him, I think, a little bit later on tomorrow. But thanks, David. I'm hoping he comes back over here a little bit later on today so we can chat with him up here on the news desk. I know a lot of you really like all the conversation he's been having throughout Partners. But if you have a chance, take a look at some of the videos on YouTube as well. He's been all over the place, warming up, getting ready for Partners 2017 as we continue the live version of the news desk, both on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on the partners.teradata.com/virtual website. And this is going to be our last video, our last interview here today that is going to be live on those great channels. But again, you guys can still continue this party that we're having at the news desk at partners.teradata.com/virtual. So we want you guys to continue. And we are going to continue. Yesterday we chatted from Meyer. We chatted with Joe Openshaw, Tim Zeider, if you guys remember. Now we're chatting with the senior EDW engineer, Dan Narva. Dan, good to have you up here. Thanks for joining me up here. In January, I think you and I had the same idea coming into 2017, because in January I got a fitness trainer. And she was going to put me on the right track to be fantastic. And it's now October, and we've met 3 times. Oh. Isn't that how it works?
But you're still fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I gave you that $20. That's nice of you. But, you wanted to get some exercise, and you said we were talking. You said you wanted to do more running, but now it's turned into a lot of walking. You've done enough walking that basically from Michigan to Denver, and now all the way to Anaheim, 1,000 miles equivalent?
That is correct. I Google mapped it, and last year, the miles that I amassed got me basically to Denver, so up to the Rocky Mountains. But this year, I actually was able to get over the mountains and all the way to Anaheim. So starting from where I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
300.
So I've covered probably pretty close to 2,000 miles this year.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's ridiculous. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Putting me to shame. I know you see your Fitbit went off saying you got to start walking. So if you need to walk, it's okay. I'll go ahead and carry it. Thanks, Dan. I'll have to talk to the camera if you want to do some walking. We chatted about Meijer yesterday. 83 years, a great grocery chain out of Michigan, of course, all up and down the Midwest. It's a fantastic grocery chain, and you guys are basically the leaders in the industry in the grocery space. But I'm going to chat about you for a second. Been with Meyer in Michigan since '98. With Teradata experience began. You've done primary admin work, including upgrades, tuning and optimization, capacity analysis, and planning and workload management. Teradata certified master, and I've served on the Teradata Product Advisory Council for 3 years. PAC, we were chatting with some other guys from PAC a little bit ago.
Oh, there's a bunch of us here.
And you guys seem like a really fun group. You guys get together, do a lot of fun things. Bill G, I think we were chatting with, and big Razorback fan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your history with Teradata.
Okay.
In particular with workload management.
All right.
Share some info about
Okay.
Meyer and that relationship with Teradata.
All right. Well, I'm sure Tim and Joe already covered it, but Meyer's been in business since 1934, and we actually brought Teradata in the early 1990s. And as you said, I came into into Meyer in 1998. And then we actually put in Teradata Active System Manager, otherwise known as TASM, in 2007 after a hardware upgrade that we did. So, it's been about 10 years we've been doing workload management with Teradata on Teradata. So,
for folks that don't know workload management, why is workload management so important?
Okay, well, it's a good question because basically without that, you don't really have any control. If you can imagine a highway with no stop signs or speed limits or traffic on-ramps or any sort of controls, you can imagine the kind of chaos that would result from that, right? And the same thing is true with computer systems as well. If you have all kinds of queries and work coming into your system all at the same time, it can basically send the system into a state of like thrashing. It can actually seize up, and we remember the days when it was like that. So actually being able to put TASM onto our system has made things work a lot more smoothly, and that's why it's necessary.
Some of the key workload characteristics regarding Meyer, what are those?
Okay, well, being a retail business, we have a lot of the regular retail rhythms, business cycles basically. So we have our times of day, week, month, year where we're busy. Usually, like many other retail businesses, Mondays in particular are really busy for us. And especially Monday morning, that's really the time of our peak activity. But also, as we get into later in the year, obviously with the holiday season and stuff, there's a lot more shopping going on. There's a lot more interest in our sales, what people are buying. And so there's a lot more query traffic on our systems, more reports, more analytics, more everything. So we have that going on. And then, the way we typically done, our cycles with Teradata is essentially we'll bring in a system, and then for about the first year or so, we think that we don't even need workload management because the system is so fast and is able to swallow up everything that we throw at it. But eventually, after a few months go by, then we get to a point where we start to feel some pain points and things like that. So that's when we start to reevaluate our workload rule sets and stuff like that, and have to come up with some new rules and identify some new workloads that are causing us pain and do things about it. So
You see any major changes in workloads? And what challenges does that pose?
We've actually had within the last year or so a pretty big increase in analytics on our system, and also another thing that's driving a lot of the change is what we call agile development. It used to be, people they'd put stuff into development system, kind of using what's kind of called a waterfall method, and they'll test things out on the development system, and then propagate it over to production. But now what we have a lot more is people actually do their development right in production. And so if you can imagine, there's a lot of work that's what we call not ready for prime time. And so when you have all that stuff going on in combination with the well-tuned, structured stuff that's already running on our system, that kind of creates some pain points. And so sometimes people say, oh, my reports aren't running fast enough. Or the people who are doing the analytics or the development are saying, well, I can't run enough of these things at a time. I need to, I don't like that you guys are delaying me. And so we kind of have to try to make everybody happy the best we can by balancing it. But with the agile development and stuff like that, what we'll do is we'll throttle those more tightly because they're not tuned requests necessarily, and so they can have an unpredictable impact on the system. So we kind of have to regulate their concurrency.
Any workload management features that you've used most recently?
Yes, actually. With the more recent version of Teradata that we put on, we've been able to implement what's known as group throttles. And with that, it's allowed us to propagate some of our management rules from a deep down level, which the deepest level is known as system throttles. Then there's workload throttles, and then there's group throttles. And so we've been able to go more from the system throttles, the low level, propagate them up to a higher level, so it makes our rule sets a lot simpler and easier to manage. Let me see. Can you repeat the question for me?
That's
so
okay.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I forget what question I've even asked you. It's live. That's what happens.
Well, I do too.
Well, it's getting a chance to meet a lot of people in a lot of different industries, and it's exciting to see what Meyer's been doing over the years. The forward progress. Oh, and the next thing. I like that. The last question. We'll finish that one because I really like to get to how you feel about Teradata's workload management. Is there anything you'd like to see in the future?
The main thing I can say right now is that we've got some development systems, we've got some appliances, we've got some enterprise systems. We tend to kind of forget about the development systems, and we just there's a more simple, what they call it, Teradata integrated workload manager there, and it doesn't have the capabilities that the dynamic workload manager has. And so we'd like to be able to use those, the dynamic workload manager across the board on whether it's an appliance or a development system or a production system, because if we make a change right now for the production system, the only place we can do that is in production. And so there's some risk inherent in doing that. So we want to be able to, we'd like to be able to make our changes, similar changes in our development system, which we currently can't do the way things are. But all that said, that's like item number one on my wish list. All that said, Teradata's workload management basically it's a suite of products, right? It's DBQL, it's Viewpoint, it's and then the workload management itself. And so the people who've been involved in developing that, Teradata Labs, the engineering group, they've done a great job with it. They're industry leaders. We've worked really well with them over the last 10 years. We've developed a great relationship with them. Through the Product Advisory Council, we get some, we're kind of advised on changes coming up. We can provide feedback, stuff like that. And then as we've done some things in our systems, they're always responsive to our questions too. So the relationship that we've had with them has been really good, and so they've just been great people to work with. So
well, that's what Teradata, that's what Partners is all about: building and maintaining that relationship and learning from all of you in order to build a better platform and to build a better relationship. And I built a relationship with Meyer over the last couple of years. Again, Joe Openshaw, Tim Zeider, now Dan Arva. What a fantastic group of people leading that retail space. Hey, thanks a lot, Dan. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week here.
Thank you very much,
And I'll see you at the House of Blues on Wednesday.
All right.
Goodness. Well, that is going to do it right now. We're going to close out YouTube. We're going to close out Facebook. So again, no more live, but we are going to still continue being live again at partners.teradata.com/virtual. So for all the YouTube and Facebook folks out there watching on those channels, see you later. See you on the other side. Now let's continue this here at the news desk. We're going to move on over to Practice Lead Manufacturing Analytics.